On Halloween, some people knock on doors for candy. We went to a cemetery to kiss a cursed statue. That was my first mistake. My last mistake was letting my best friend go first. My name is not important. What matters is his name. His name was Leo. This happened when we were in college, at that perfect age of invincibility. We were too smart for ghost stories and too dumb to leave them alone. It was Halloween. The air in our small college town was electric. We were at a crowded, loud house party and we were bored. Leo was always the ringleader, the skeptic. He clapped his hands together. "This is lame," he said. "I have a better idea." He pulled out his phone. Who knows the story of the Black Angel? The legend was famous in our town. In the middle of Oakland Cemetery, there was a massive 8-foot-tall angel made of bronze. The story goes a woman had buried her son and husband there, and when she died, the statue was placed over her grave. Overnight, the bronze angel turned black. But that wasn't the scary part. Our legend was specific. If you kissed the Black Angel on Halloween night, you would die. Leo grinned. "So, who wants to go?" Of course, we went. There were 4 of us, me, Leo, Sarah, and our other friend Ben. We piled into Leo's beat-up car and drove to the cemetery. The gates were open. We parked. The silence was total. All we could hear was the crunch of dead leaves under our feet. "This is stupid," Sarah whispered. "This is awesome," Leo replied. We walked past rows of pale, sleeping stones. The moon was full. It felt staged. It didn't feel real. And then we saw her. She was massive, looming over a large, dark grave. The moonlight hit her, but it didn't reflect. The black metal just absorbed the light. It was an absence, a void in the shape of an angel. Her wings were spread wide, her head bowed. We just stood there. The invincibility was gone. It was cold. A deep, heavy cold radiated from the statue. Ben nervously shined his phone's flashlight on it. "Okay," he said. "We saw it. Can we go?" Leo just stared at it. "The legend," he said. "You have to kiss her." "Leo, don't," I said. "It's not funny." "It's not a joke," he said. "It's a test. It's just metal. I'm going to prove it." Before any of us could stop him, he walked up the small steps. He hesitated for just a second, looked back at us, and smirked. And then he leaned in. He kissed the cold, black metal face. Narrator. He stepped back and wiped his mouth. He laughed, a loud, sharp, ugly laugh that cut the silence. "See?" he shouted. "I'm not dead. It's just a stupid statue." He was breathing hard. "It's just cold," he said, rubbing his lips. Sarah was crying. "I want to go. Please." The spell was broken. We ran back to the car. Leo was the last one, still laughing. We drove away. We didn't look back. We went back to the party, but it was different. Leo was quiet. He sat in a corner, staring. "You okay, man?" I asked. He looked up at me, his eyes distant. "It's just so cold," he whispered. "My lips. I can't get them warm." We went home. We slept, and we forgot. We rationalized it. We moved on. Until Leo didn't. It started subtly about a week later. Leo was always wearing a scarf. "It's freezing in these lecture halls," he'd say. But it wasn't cold. He stopped going out. He started skipping classes. I'd go to his dorm room and he'd be under a pile of blankets, shivering. "Dude, are you sick?" "I'm just cold," he'd mutter. "I can't warm up." His skin was pale and his lips, they had a faint bluish tint. This went on for months. The doctors found nothing. Psychosomatic, they said. Depression. The pills didn't help. He started drawing, obsessively. He drew the same thing over and over. The angel, her face, her wings. There were hundreds of sketches taped all over his walls like he was trying to understand something. I tried to talk to him. "Leo, you have to snap out of this. It was a joke." He looked at me, his eyes hollow. "It's not a joke," he whispered. She She is cold. She's waiting. Waiting for what? I asked. He just shook his head. She's so lonely. That was the last time I saw him. In February. He vanished. Just gone. His phone and his wallet were on his desk next to a fresh drawing. The police were called. I told them everything. The legend. The dare. The kiss. They looked at me like I was insane. They treated him as a missing person. They found his car a week later. It was parked by the entrance to Oakland Cemetery. The car was locked. The inside was freezing, colder than the outside. The windows were covered in frost on the inside, and on the passenger seat was one final drawing of the angel. On the back were 3 words. She's not alone. He was never found. He just ceased to be. Sarah moved back home. Ben dropped out. I stayed. I had to pretend to be normal. But I went back, one last time, to the statue in the daylight. It was just a statue. Bronze turned black. Tourists were taking pictures. I felt foolish. I felt angry. He was sick. He had left. This statue had done nothing. I turned to leave. I was so angry, I slapped the statue, the base of it. Hard. The cold was instant. It wasn't metal cold. It was deep, like sticking your hand into dry ice. It burned. It leached the heat right out of my bones. I snatched my hand back. It was red, numb, and shaking. I ran. I left that town. I never went back. That was 10 years ago. Leo is still missing. The legend is still a legend. But I know the truth. The curse isn't about death. It's about a trade. A cold, dark thing that waits. And on Halloween, it listens for a foolish, warm kiss. My hand, it still gets cold. The same 3 fingers that touched the stone. A deep, numb, metal cold. A reminder that I touched it, and he kissed it.
Be careful what legends you test. Some stories aren't stories, they're invitations. And some are traps, waiting for someone foolish enough to take a dare.